Well, we're here talking today about the idea that Jesus changes the heart. He certainly changed mine, and it was both physically and spiritually. And let me tell you a little bit about that. I was heading up the hill in my neighborhood one morning on my morning walk and felt a little, just a little tightness in my chest. It wasn't any kind of a pain or any problem or anything, but a little tightness. Got to the top of the hill, it smoothed out and everything was fine. So no big deal. Went out of town the next day, started to walk again there, and lasted 5 minutes. Headed back to Brownwood. By the time I got back to Brownwood, my wife had the emergency room set up, and we started the testing. And so after several days of testing and looking into the whole situation, I did my last test, and the next thing I know, I'm on a helicopter headed for San Angelo. And it was interesting. I got to an ICU room the next morning. The next morning I got up and I was in surgery, and it was interesting. The surgeons were in there. They were it looked like they were having a good time. They were getting ready for surgery and just kind of having fun and kind of joking a little bit. And I felt comfortable there the whole time. And so did the surgery, back in ICU for a day or two, and then into my room. So the physical part of changing the heart happened that way. It was a triple bypass heart surgery. And so that's what happened there. Then I got back to my room, and that's when the spiritual part of this changing the heart started kicking in. It's hard to explain, actually, but I was so comfortable. I think the word that I would use mostly in that situation is peace. I felt nothing but peace. And every person that came in my room, whether it was a nurse checking on me, giving me some meds, checking my vital signs, bringing me some food, emptying my trash can, whatever, every person that came in there, I just thought of them as angels. That's what it felt like to me. I was so peaceful, so comforted by the whole situation, and I just had a good time with all the folks that came in. Would visit with them and just enjoy our time together, and so it was really amazing. I just thought of them as angels. And that went on for several days. I mean, like almost a week. And of course, my wife was there every day from setting it up, the emergency room. She was always with me. My family showed up, my daughter, grandkids, and then some friends came too. So there were others, but it just felt so peaceful to be there. I never questioned, I never had any fear, I never had any problems with anything that was happening, and I just enjoyed the visit there. How can you say that? How can I say that I enjoyed it? It's because it's like I was surrounded. It's like Jesus was in the room. And I have found out later in my spiritual journey, I refer to that situation as the hands and feet of Christ. The people that came in the room, the surgeons that were in there that morning doing that work, everything that happened, it was like Jesus was with me. And so I just felt great and had a great time. And when I got ready to leave, and the surgeon, he was walking out the door. He did kind of a final check on me, and he said, "Hey, I forgot to tell you, get ready for another 20 years. And so here's something I wanted to show you. All those angels, all those people that were the hands and feet of Christ to me, they give you a pillow, because when you have that surgery and you start to cough afterwards, oh, you just want to have that against your chest because it really helps. I had the angels sign this. And so it's a treasure for me. I have this. The surgeon even drew lines on here. It showed what he did. So anyway, it's just something that I keep with me to remind me of what happened there. It was a blessing. It was a blessing for me to be there. The whole idea of the hands and feet of Christ being with me has continued on in my life after that whole experience. There are times when I may feel like that I'm in a fearful situation, and I pray and I ask and I say, God, I need your help. I need your help. And it always comes, always steps forward. I can go down the list and tell you time after time that people step up. The hands and feet of Christ step up to me and say, they don't say anything, but it's like Jesus is there for me when I make a request like that. So the spiritual part, yes, the physical part of this is clear. It happened, it was done well, and I was treated wonderfully. The spiritual part, the spiritual journey continues, and it's there. It happens, and I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that I'm still reminded that God is with me. Jesus is there for me. I've heard people in situations like, oh man, I never want to go through something like that. He said, oh man, what if you had your choice of whether you would do that or not? I mean, would you ever go through that again? And I would say yes, in a heartbeat.